Hello, guys, and welcome back to the pod.
Hey guys, we're back this week and we're in Canada.
Without further ado, let's jump straight into it, Helmet. There has been the most intense intra-team battle between the Mercedes since Brocedes. What's been going on?
Oh my gosh, these two, honestly, it is so difficult to watch it sometimes, but George and Kimi are both performing at such high levels, and it's kind of giving us a Brocedes slash like what we saw last year with McLaren and the Papaya Boys. Like, that's what vibe I'm getting, and it's really scary to watch.
I have to cut in here and say that, if anything, this has made me have a greater appreciation for papaya rules. I think a lot of people were giving McLaren slack for the way they were handling things, but in hindsight, Lando and Oscar were incredibly good teammates and respectful to one another. And as you can see, after the teammate battle between them, they still have a really good relationship. But we're seeing cracks emerge in Mercedes. And how many races are we in? Not even like 10.
Yeah, we're in 5 races, and what's crazy is like George has kind of like given up as well. He went on an interview just saying, it's Kimi's championship to lose, and like I don't know if that's just like an instant reaction from after the race. Yeah, it seems like he's kind of just letting it go now. Lost a little bit of hope, which is kind of weird because like Max, was back in the championship quite late last year, and we're only 5 races in, but who knows?
Listen, this is the same George Russell that took a PowerPoint presentation to Claire Williams, telling her, "You have to sign me and I will be the best driver you ever had." This is the same George that scored points in a Williams that was struggling, that pushed the Mercedes to its absolute limit, and was once again dealt a bad hand, changing teams when Mercedes had lost its competitive advantage. He has a lot of grit and resourcefulness, and I don't believe that he's gonna give up this easily.
Yeah, like I said, I hope that it was just like a reaction from right after the race and that's not how he actually feels. But I don't know, I'm a bit nervous because going into the start of the year, I definitely thought that he was going to, like, he was the top contender. I did not see Kimi coming in, but he's doing good for consecutive race wins.
Yes, it's quite historic actually. There hasn't been anybody in history that has won their 4 first wins consecutively. So well done to Kimi Antonelli. But I have to ask you, and I know that you're a Lewis Hamilton fan, so try your best to put that to one side. But do you feel like George Russell has been treated as the middle child, quote unquote, when it comes to Mercedes?
Honestly, like, it's so sad to say, but yeah, I do think that. Especially, I think a couple weeks ago on Instagram, Mercedes posted like the static, and it said every dream needs a team, and it showed only Kimi, and it had like the whole factory was there, and that felt so horrible because obviously like all these drivers, all their dreams are to be world champion. To have the whole team only post that picture with one of the drivers, it really did feel like George has become the middle child. He's been working so hard, and just to be beaten by your teammate who's a lot younger than you, it's not going to feel that great. And then your team posts something like that.
Yeah, I feel like psychologically George must be in the trenches right now. I will say sometimes, this is not to dogpile on George because I am supportive of him and I really do want to see him succeed this year. But sometimes when the pressure is applied to him, for instance, Singapore 2023, he does sometimes let it get to him. But I do believe in his ability to recenter, reframe his thinking and come back stronger than the start. However, perhaps, Mercedes could take a leaf or two out of McLaren's book and introduce their own papaya rules. Although I heard Toto Wolff wasn't too fond of that idea.
Yeah, oh my gosh, he is so funny. He was like, "Oh no, we don't we eat fruits. We don't name rules after them." I was like, "Okay, Toto. Okay."
So, Kimi Antonelli, not quite a rookie, but they're just about 19 years old, leading the championship and, giving his older teammate a run for his money. Where do you think his headspace is at?
Listen, I was watching the sprint as it was happening, And the amount of radio messages that Kimi did, I was like, oh my gosh, you need to stop. You need to take the hint. Even Toto coming on and saying, hey, we're talking about this internally. Like, his rookiness kind of showed through there, because there are some things that you don't talk about on the radio, and being told again and again by your team principal that, hey, this is the fourth time, like, you need to stop, really showed his youth.
You know, I'm totally here for the on-track battles, but I really hope that the rivalry between Kimi and George does not take a turn for the worst. In saying that, however, there seems to be, where there is drama, there also seems to be a certain Mr. Lando Norris.
Oh my gosh, Lando loves drama. He loves the goss. He loves just like smirking at the camera and being like, are you seeing what I'm seeing? I think it's so funny, like, especially after the sprint, and you knew that Kimi was like fuming. He was trying to keep it in, he was trying to be his media trained self. But there was Kimi and then Lando and George, and you could see Lando in the middle just smirking. He was like, I've got Tom on my left, I've got Jerry on my right. Like, this is it was so funny. It made me think about all the times that like Lando has always been there. He was always at the scene of the crime. When Max and George were beefing, he was there. He was stirring the pot in interviews. He was captioning his post saying, hey, those two people you're thinking about, yeah, they were seated as far away from each other as possible. So I love that he's there for the goss, especially with like the DNF. All I could think about in my mind was like, has this man just DNF'd so he can go catch up with George and like catch up on what the goss is? I honestly, sometimes I feel like he's like Jim in The Office, where he's just like looking for the camera and just smiling at it and just breaking the fourth wall. It's so funny.
You know what? We love that. Lando is one of us. He's here for the funniness and the arguments at times.
Yeah, honestly, live, laugh, love Lando. But also, what was going on in that race? Because he did DNF. I know that strategy maybe wasn't the best this time around.
Ultimately, Lando's race was ended due to a technical problem. Apparently, there were pieces of metal found in his car where they shouldn't have been. So they'll have to do an internal investigation on how or why that happened. But what I can speak to is the strategy. I mean, it was kind of like out of a left field. It was a kind of a Hail Mary kind of strategy to put them on those into tires when everybody else was on hards and mediums. And that's the type of gamble that you take if you're a Williams or a Haas, you know, further back of the grid and you want to do something completely different. But to be on the second row and to put them on inters, and not only that, mind you, they put both of those eggs in that same Hail Mary basket. They could have split strategies to give them the best opportunity at, you know, covering other people off if it didn't turn out to be rainy. So really the McLaren strategy team dropped the ball there, but more so for Oscar Piastri's race, because Lando ultimately DNF'd due to a technical error, but Oscar ended up P11 and he really could have finished in the points had it not been for that.
And also, mind you, like, he was talking about this on the radio during those 2 or 3 formation laps. By the way, what was that about? But he mentioned it on the radio saying, hey, like, I don't know if these tires are the best idea. And right after the first lap, he's like, nah, I'm not having it. He pulls straight into the pits and gets a pit stop because he's like, there's no way, like, I'm not doing this race on these inters.
Oscar Piastri wasted no time letting them know how he felt over the radio, and good on him. Seems like he was a better strategist today than his strategy team.
Yeah, and honestly, it saved him. If he waited longer, he would have been like performing worse.
Yeah. Poor Oscar. He's had quite the luck this year, right? The first 2 races he wasn't even able to compete, and then today, just shocking strategy. One for McLaren to forget. Let's just say that.
All right.
Now I know, Helmut, that you were especially excited about the podium.
Yeah, oh my gosh, I was so happy, obviously because I am a Lewis fan, and it was so nice to see him up there and with his mum there as well. By the way, she's been there for both his podiums, so I think she's the lucky charm. But what I loved was Lewis looking over and be like, oh my god, should we like lift him up and take a picture? You could see his thought process, and that picture was taken, and I saw quite a lot of analysis across social media about how that picture kind of emphasizes the past, the present, and the future. The past being Lewis, the present being Max, and the future being Kimi. And how, you know, this is one for the history books because it really is encapsulating all that in that one podium. And I was so happy. Also, it was Max's first podium of the year. Very well deserved. And it's just some good racing overall. So go them.
You know what? That podium was simply lovely.
I love to hear it.
I know this isn't F1 related, but after the heartbreak that Max had at the Nürburgring, it must have been nice for him to get his first podium of the year. So I'm happy about that.
Yeah, honestly, it was worth seeing that smile on his face. But aside from the podium finishes, you heard a rumor about a certain someone?
I sure did. The grapevine is saying Esty Bestie Haas got to go. I've been hearing through the grapevine, and mind you, this is all speculation, so it could be absolutely nonsense and waffle. But where there is smoke, there is often a flame, especially when it comes to the rumor mill of F1. And people are saying that Esteban Ocon could be dropped as soon as the middle of this season.
No, don't say that to me.
He's gone through it, hasn't he?
Yeah, like I remember him and Alpine for that last race, like having that helmet all custom made, and he didn't even get to race. So hearing this, like, I don't know if I can handle it.
Yeah, so allegedly the team principal at Haas is not gelling with Esteban, and he has been disappointed with his performance in comparison to his fresher rookie, well, not so much rookie anymore, but his teammate Ollie Bearman, who has been consistently outscoring him. But is that grounds enough for a mid-season dismissal?
I don't know, but like, who would they replace him with? Jack?
Jack do it? Again? He's like following Esty Vesty.
Yeah, I know.
So yeah, maybe Jack Doohan is here to take Esty Vesty's seat again. But the other names that were floated were Yuki Tsunoda and Rafael Câmara.
Oh, okay. I don't know how I feel about Yuki being in that seat. It would be cool to see some fresh blood.
Yeah, so this actually leads me nicely onto the next topic of conversation. Say that the rumors are true and come to fruition. Not that we want that for Esteban, but hypothetically, if they were true and Rafa was the one promoted to that seat, both Oliver Bearman and Rafa have been going through the Ferrari development program. And as you know, in the foreseeable future, only one Ferrari seat is set to open anytime soon.
So I am a little bit nervous about that, only because Lewis recently put all rumors to rest about him retiring soon, leaving soon. He said that he's going to be around here for a while, so we better get used to it. Which, side note, is what every movie character says before they die, so I'm a little bit nervous right now. But if that is true, what would that mean for our Ferrari development drivers?
it means that may the best man win. Obviously, Ollie has a slight edge, having way more Formula One experience under his belt, but I know that Rafa did test drive the Ferrari car recently, and honestly, it would be an interesting storyline to see who would be Lewis's heir to the Ferrari seat.
Yeah, I think Ollie probably died a little bit when he heard that Lewis is going to be around for a while. I know he wants that Ferrari seat so badly.
But we will see what will happen. But I mean, before we go, what is your prediction for the Ferrari seat in 2 years' time? Who is going to be in those seats?
In 2 years' time, if Lewis is still around, which I know a lot of people don't want him to be, but I hope he is, I think it would be Ollie. Unless Rafael's joined F1 and had a little bit of experience driving in another team and then going to Ferrari. I don't really think they would take in someone who hasn't driven an F1 before.
Yeah, he would definitely have to do some time at Haas. But I will say it's probably going to be Charles and either Ollie or Rafa in that seat.
Yeah, nice. We'll revisit this in a couple years.
We'll circle back. Thoughts and prayers to Esteban Ocon. May your season go well and may you not lose your seat.
All right, and to finish this episode off, I think let's play a little game. I know you prepared something.
I sure have. Lando and Gabriel Bortoleto were most recently spotted in Monaco together, and sort of just seeing them interact with the fans, I couldn't help but thinking that Gabby has this very old school Formula One look.
Oh my gosh, yeah, wait, he does.
He does, and you put it really well. Like, if you were to put some grain over footage of him and make it black and white. Like, he would be like an old school Formula One driver. And then I got to thinking, there's lots of TV shows that we watch now, like historical dramas. What's a good example of it?
I don't know, like Bridgerton's probably top of mind right now.
Yeah, so that's a really good example. People have been talking about the concept of iPhone face, which is neither a good thing nor a bad thing. It just means certain people have more modern features and they look a little bit out of place in historical pieces versus other people have features that you would find in older paintings or older films, I guess. So I got to thinking, which drivers don't have iPhone face versus which drivers I think potentially do have iPhone face.
Oh my gosh, I'm very excited. Okay, take it away.
So I'm going to do 3 for each, and then I'm going to ask you to contribute 1.
Okay.
Okay, so for the drivers that, in my opinion, don't have iPhone face, starting off strong with Oscar Piastri.
Okay, all right. I
Do you
see
see
it.
it?
I think especially with a little bit of like the longer hair now. Yeah, I see it.
Yep. And then I've got Carlos Sainz.
Oh, that man. Yeah, okay. Especially with him being at Cannes recently, like with the L'Oreal partnership and like his hair being parted to the side. That is a picture you put in a wallet. Yeah.
For sure. He has that like old school Hollywood look to him. And lastly, I have Max Verstappen.
Okay. All right. Okay. Fair.
Now, for the drivers that do have iPhone face or like a more modern appearance, first off, I have Charles Leclerc.
Oh yeah, that's the top of 100%. That man has an iPhone face.
That man looks like he has seen an iPhone.
Yeah, no, give him P1 right now.
Next up, I have George Russell.
Yeah, I see. Actually, I see it both ways. I think I've seen some pictures of him looking very old school English, but yeah, he does have an iPhone face, especially with those eyes.
You know what? He does have like sort of like the chiseled like old school look, but at the same time, he also does look like he's seen an iPhone.
Yeah.
And lastly on the list, I have Liam Lawson.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I think it's mostly driven by his hairstyle choices.
Yeah, 100% agree on that. Yeah, he definitely has an iPhone face. Maybe it's because I've seen a lot of his content pop up on my feed, and I also see him constantly lip syncing from VCarb TikToks.
So, who are your 2? Who do you think, out of the people I haven't mentioned, has an iPhone face or doesn't have an iPhone face?
Okay, so out of all the drivers, I think the person who least has an iPhone face is Fernando Alonso. I don't know if that's just his age coming through, but yeah, I think I don't see him having an iPhone face. And for someone who does have an iPhone face, it's gotta be Pierre Gasly. Specifically because I've been seeing like AI edits of him sometimes, and it kind of scares me because I'm like, oh my god, is that Pierre? And it's not, but I can see like, yeah, he has an iPhone face.
For sure. I love that. But I can't believe you picked a rookie.
I know.
A baby-faced rookie.
I'm sorry.
Honorable mention to Oliver Bearman.
Yes.
As well.
Yeah. Love that man.
Without further ado, however, let's move swiftly on to everybody's favorite segment of the week. Helmet's Podium. Hit it, Helmet.
All right. So this week, or like past couple weeks, has given us quite a bit to analyze. So I've got 3 podiums, so P1, P2, P3, and I've also got some honorable mentions because that's how good this week was. So honorable mention number 1 goes to Charles and Carlos at the Cannes Film Festival. Specifically, they did like a little promo ad and their acting sucked, but I loved it. I love seeing them back on the screen together, which is something we talked about in our last episode. So that gets an honorable mention. Second honorable mention goes to Oscar Piastri in the new Grilled video. I don't know if you've seen that video of Harry Styles when he's on X Factor, and one of the judges asks him what he does at the bakery, and he's like, "Oh, I like serve," and they use that audio. And what's even better is Oscar's lip syncing to it. So how could I not give that an honorable mention? We don't see this man lip sync a lot. And the last honorable mention is going to go to Lewis Hamilton and his Thursday and Friday fit. He looked so good, and might I add, Lewis Hamilton watches the pod, because why was he also wearing a helmet when he walked in? I was like, okay, I see that you've taken some inspiration from this. A little credit would be good next time, but It's all right. We move.
I literally, as soon as I saw him walk in with a helmet, I like messaged Helmet and I was like, he's stealing your brand.
I know. I can't believe it. But it's the only reason it's okay is because it's Lewis. If it was anyone else, I would be writing a lawsuit right now.
I mean, they need to wear helmets for the race.
Nah, yeah, whatever. Anyway, here are my top 3 for my podium from this past week. So P3 is going to go to the radio message between Toto and George after sprint qualifying, where they were kind of just saying the same thing twice to each other. It just gave me a good chuckle, and I was like, that was really funny. So that's P3. P2 is going to go to all the off-campus lore I've been seeing within F1 at the moment. I think it's timed so perfectly that Off-Campus just came out, which, by the way, if you don't know, is a TV show about this guy who plays ice hockey and his friends. And that's timed so well with the Canadian Grand Prix because ice hockey is so big there. So we've had, things like the Aston Martin helmet with the cherries on it, or we've seen VCARB do a direct link with the 2 drivers saying, hey, like, my Garrett, or even McLaren boys playing ice hockey. There's just so much going on there, and I love that they're leveraging off that. So P2 goes to off-campus. And then finally, P1, drum roll please. P1 goes to Lando's helmet. It was so well thought out, and like the design of it, but also the cause. I love that he's thought so much about it and it's translated so well. And honestly, this man's helmets never miss. So, one day I'm gonna need to update this and I'm gonna be looking at that helmet collection.
I 100% agree with your P1. He nails his helmets every single time, but this time around it was a little bit more special than usual. Can you tell us what the significance was behind this helmet design?
So this helmet was made in collaboration with Racing Dementia and with Sir Jackie Stewart. So the whole idea is it's the race against dementia, and the helmet symbolizes the 2 halves of the human brain. One, when it's healthy, but the other half of when it's dementia, with like the logos kind of displacing and the colors being faded away and the memories going away. Even with Sir Jackie Stewart kind of being his mentor, I thought it was just such a thoughtful collaboration, and it's for a thoughtful cause.
Yeah, absolutely. I know Sir Jackie Stewart originally created this charity to honor his late wife that suffered with dementia, and I think the fact that Lando went so far as stopping at McGill University and speaking with professors who are doing dementia research in preparation for this helmet design goes to show how much effort and care he put into this specific design. And he is a very worthy P1 recipient of your podium today.
100%. Very well earned. And then finally, for my participation, I'm going to give it to Alex hitting Gary. Now, if you don't know who Gary is...
Who's Gary?
Gary's a groundhog that actually popped up in one of the Williams videos, and they named him Gary. But while Alex was driving on track, he accidentally hit one. And for someone who loves animals, I know that must have sucked for him. So yeah, that one was not amazing. So that gets participation this time around.
Oh, Alex. Rest in peace, Gary. Gone but never forgotten.
Never forgotten.
All right. Well, that just about does it for the Canadian Grand Prix. We will be back with you in Monaco, but one final thing we wanted to let you guys know is that the FIA has made a slight adjustment to the regulations for the Monaco Grand Prix. As you guys know, historically, with the size of modern Formula One cars, even under the new 2026 regulations, which made the cars slightly smaller, it is virtually impossible to overtake in Monaco. So where you qualify is pretty much where you will finish the race. Keeping that in mind, Helmet, what has the FIA decided to do?
Yeah, you're right. So they've abandoned the 2-stop. You now only have to stop once in that Monaco race. So it's going to be a little bit of a switch up from last year.
But hopefully it makes the race a little bit more balanced. I guess we'll see what happens. But that's been all from me and Helmet today. We wish you guys a wonderful rest of your week or two, and we'll see you back in Monaco.
See you there, guys.